and pick it up on the window or pick it up at the table. I said, okay, well, how about this? I want a Venti Pike Place with extra cream. That's all. Nope, you got to order on the app. Okay, I'm done with you. I ordered coffee from somebody else. And from that time forward, I can't tell you how much business Starbucks has lost. But I tell you who's picked up business: Dunkin' Donuts, Circle K gas stations. They both have very good coffee too, and you don't have to pay on the dopey app. Wendy's recently did the same thing. You want food from us? You order it on the app and then you just pick it up. Translation, that's how we do business. Take it or leave it. Okay, I'm an old man. I'm leaving it. And we had this conversation, I guess it was over the Christmas holidays with the family, with the younger people, and everybody's laughing at the old man. Oh, you're just a silly old man. You don't want to pay on the app. You don't want to use your phone. You don't want to do this. You don't want to do that. You have to do things the old way, blah, 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 blah. What's going to happen when you try to pay for your bill? A whole bunch of people are out. You don't want to Venmo, and you don't want to do this or that. You want to split up the bill and have the waiter or waitress split up the bill, and what are you going to do when all that happens and you can't be involved? I understood what they were doing. It wasn't hateful. They were just chiding the old guy. And I smiled and I said, well, all you young with it hip people, I think what I'll do is I will pay my portion of the bill, or I will pay my entire bill. In fact, I'll pick up the whole bill for everybody, and I'll pay for it with my own made up cryptocurrency. Booyah! Take that one. It made me smile. I can be young too. Yep. I will jump the shark. I'll go extra. I won't even pay my bill to you, Wendy's or Starbucks or friends who insist I do things a certain way. I'll do things your way because you insist that I do things a certain way, but you will take in payment my own made up cryptocurrency. After all, the dollar is just fiat currency. Come on, get with it. Be hip. You have to accept my fiat currency as payment. What's so saying? Karma's a bitch? Next story. California Dave sent me an email early this morning, and it was and he lives in LA and he's tired of California, but he's not going to move because things haven't gotten quite bad enough. But this was a bill. Actually, it was published published last year, so I don't know where this thing is going because this thing's close to a year old. But it was California Assembly Bill 1400, and it had to do with guaranteed health care for all. And basically, it talks about how, look, we're going to go ahead and raise all this money, raise these taxes, and everybody in the state of California will have free health care. And actually, my response was, that's not really a bad thing. In fact, it could be a good thing. If done right, it'll be an excellent thing. A lot of people in the world do that. But I'm going to read my response to him verbatim. And basically, he sent me this bill, and my response to California Dave was, and I quote, I didn't read the whole thing, but then you really didn't expect me to. It's like 70 pages. The really sad thing about this kind of program is it actually could work. Quite well, actually. But it never will, because these programs are not about helping people, but redistributing wealth. Free health care, for instance, in Canada, it works. But you don't choose your doctor. You don't choose your hospital. You don't schedule a time convenient for you. All of this is assigned. And the wait is often months. Now, a little off script. In this country, sometimes the wait is months too. So what do? You get another doctor. Can't do that because you have to use the doctor that's assigned to you. And if your assigned doctor doesn't speak English or maybe French, because Quebec is a French-speaking province, and you can't understand what they say, sure, you can get another doctor, but you resubmit your request to the national health care people and you get back in line. Perhaps for months again, okay? People in Canada don't like this. What do? They come to Detroit. They come to the United States for health care. Now, Simple health care, simple, basic health care. I'd love to give that to everybody and not have them pay for any of it. And I mean everybody, not just the poor people, because let's be honest, the poor and indigent, they have free health care now. Nobody turns them around. Nobody is dying in the street in this country because they don't have health insurance. Nobody. So the poor and indigent already have it. I'm talking about simple health care for all. Ward hospitals, telehealth, nurse practitioners, those are all doable and very effective. Oh, and by the way, I would just have a concierge plan. I'd pay extra to have my own doctor, my own hospital, my own this. I'd just pay extra for that. Those of us who paid extra for a concierge plan would be deemed racist, classist, and elitists. A new piece of legislation would pop up that gave my concierge plan that I'm paying extra for to everybody for free, and they tax me extra for it. And this never stops. In fact, I heard a former California, San Francisco, to be exact, politician, former mayor of San Francisco, talk about California and San Francisco in particular. And basically what he said is, in California, San Francisco in particular, we have a benevolent society who want to help those that cannot help themselves. And that's a good thing, according to this politician. This same politician said, the problem now is that the ones with their hands out are not only demanding more and more and more, but wanting to dictate how to receive it and how much they're entitled to. And in the state of California, the ones paying for it, they're done listening to their selfish demands. That politician, Willie Brown. Yeah, that Willie Brown, former mayor of San Francisco, former head of the California State Assembly. Willie Brown is something just to the right of Cesar Chavez. Okay? He is about as liberal as you get. And when a guy like Willie Brown says, whoa, enough is enough. We can't do this anymore. We've gone to the well of the rich far too many times. When he's saying that, what does that tell you about the others? Think about it. What's next here? We talked about that. Oh, okay. The January 6th insurrection. Let's talk about that, okay? The anniversary of the January 6th insurrection. I didn't want to talk about it, but then when I heard people talking about it, and when I say people, I mean either talking heads in the media or people on Facebook, okay? Which, by the way, I don't think one has any more credence than the other, in my opinion. Was it an insurrection? Was it a attempt to take over government? Kind of, but no. Let me explain to you what January 6th was. Again, my opinion. January 6th was a bunch of fat losers who had nothing better to do and thought that they could just go and cause a bunch of trouble and not get called on the carpet for it. Why not? I mean, you saw in Ferguson, they busted in the windows of the beauty parlors and stole all the hair extensions. We're going to do the same thing with Congress. Not so fast, Charlie. It's a little bit different, okay? These are fat losers. These weren't patriots. These weren't revolutionists. These weren't Tea Party people in the old word, not the new word, Tea Party. These were just fat losers who cried when they were arrested and brought to trial for breaking the law. None of them stand up tall and say, I'm going to go to jail for this if I have to because this is the right thing to do. No, they all cried, I didn't know I was going to do this. Do you know how many of us died during the insurrection? Yeah, you know what? Those of you that died during the insurrection, with the exception of that knothead Ashley Babbitt, those of you that died during the insurrection is because you were too fat that you couldn't walk so much, and you died of a heart attack. You're not a revolutionary. You're not a patriot. You're a fat loser. Even that, who was that guy? The shaman, the guy who wore the animal dressing on his head. That loser lived in his mom's basement. What an ass. What an idiot. And again, now he's charged with a crime. And if convicted, he'll just live in the state's basement instead of his mom's basement. So it's not a big difference to me. But he cried, I had no idea I did such wrong. I never wanted to hurt anybody. I never. Yeah, you did. You didn't think past your nose, dummy. Okay? And Ashley Babbitt, she wasn't a martyr. Ashley Babbitt was a criminal who rushed a policeman and got shot and killed. And now she's dead. Just like Michael Brown. That's right. Now, of all the people who listen to this podcast, there may be nobody that's not offended by that statement. That Ashley Babbitt is no different from Michael Brown. They were both people who didn't think things through. You rushed a policeman with the gun and you got shot and killed. And now you're dead. Sorry, but that's how it works. Michael Brown wasn't a good boy. And Ashley Babbitt wasn't a patriot. A patriot, in fact, the two terms that are overused, misused, are patriot and genius. And actually, I think genius is overused. Why? That pitcher is a genius with the way he mixes his pitches up. No, you're not a genius. You're a good pitcher, okay? Albert Einstein was a genius. Elon Musk is a genius. Thomas Edison was a genius. Stephen Hawking was a genius. It's overused. Patriot is not overused. It's misused, okay? It's just misused, okay? Now, does that make me a leftist liberal? If you're thinking to yourself, yes, what's wrong with that Strong? He's just a leftist liberal, okay? If you think that, then what that does is that groups me in with Karl Rove, Liz Cheney, Dick Cheney, Ted Cruz, leftist liberals like that who think exactly the way I think. It's not because I've gotten into their heads. It's because I've read interviews that they've given. I've read statements that they've had. Karl Rove did a very long, very involved, very damning editorial in the Wall Street Journal talking about this. It doesn't make me a liberal. It makes me logical. Think about it. Ashley Babbitt, Michael Brown, same. And they both assumed room temperature. Am I ramping up just a little bit? This was by design, folks. I meant to start kind of calm and end rather not calm. And this next topic, this next subject, the second to the last thing I'm going to talk about, will ramp us up some more. And if you think I'm being controversial here, check this one out. Let's look at murders in the city of St. Louis, shall we? For 2022. I'm sorry, for 2021. Let's look at them. And let's see here. How many people were killed in the city of St. Louis in 2021? 195 people. Now, the good news is that's down considerably from 2020. But 2020 was the most in years, 263. So less people were killed in the city of St. Louis. In fact, let's do the quick math. That would be 68 less people were killed in the city of St. Louis than in 2020. Is that a good trend? I guess. Let's see what happens in 2022. If it continues down, then I'll say it's a good trend. Because 1 year, 2 years do not mean a trend. That means it could be an anomaly. Let's see what 2022 holds. But 195 people killed in the city of St. Louis. 195 homicides in 2021. Is that a problem? Yeah, it is. It is. And who is it a problem for? Well, on the surface, it's a problem for everybody who lives in the city of St. Louis, or the St. Louis metropolitan area, or the state, or the country, or the world, because we're all one big happy family, okay? In theory. What I tend